GreenSense Show is sponsored by CEA Technology, providing a sustainable modular indoor growing system. Visit CEATechn.com to learn more. From 9 to 5, most workplaces are a flurry of activity with meetings, calls, and demonstrations, creating a lot of clutter and waste. The next morning, magically, carpets are vacuum cleaned, desks are wiped, and bathrooms sparkling. This didn't happen with an app. It was done by a crew of very hardworking men and women who are the unsung heroes, toiling in the shadows of the night, making the workplace clean and sanitary. Most of us give little thought to the cleaning crew or how sustainable they are when it comes to cleaning the offices. Last month, the Service Employee International Union, SEIU, held a graduation for Chicago's first ever Green Janitor Education Program. Here to tell us more is Roberto Rodriguez, Local 1, and a janitor at Northwestern University, who is also an instructor of the Green Janitor Education Program. Roberto, welcome to GreenSense Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you for having me.
Well, pleasure to have you. A little on your background. You're a single father with 2 kids. You have over 16 years of janitorial experience. You've worked as a janitor at Northwestern University since 2009. What are some of the roles you've taken on as a janitor at Northwestern?
Well, I started as a janitor. I moved up to supervisor, and I had to step back from that due to family needs. So my schedule didn't allow me to work, or my family needs didn't allow me to work the schedule I had before. So I had to step back down as a janitor. While as a supervisor, and even now, I'm one of the, what they call a safety officer. I'm also one of the instructors, like whenever we get new items that, like pieces of equipment or chemicals that need to be, like that everyone needs to know how to use because they're used differently. I'm one of the people that does that. I also repair the cleaning equipment that we have there if it ever breaks down. But just like almost everyone else everywhere, I do wear many hats.
A jack of all trades. Well, being a janitor is hard work. I'd like to know how you became a janitor and why you've continued to stay in that line of work.
Okay, full disclosure, all honesty, I became a janitor at Northwestern because I was trying to get my foot in the door, not knowing that if you work for the contracting company for Northwestern, you cannot apply and they cannot hire you to become one of the building engineers there.
Ah, so why did you stay with it?
The insurance.
Great benefits.
Yeah, being a father of 2 kids, both of them being special needs, the insurance cost and how much I would have to pay out of year is dwarfed by any like large raise that I would get from transitioning jobs if they had worse insurance.
Well, these days, any manual labor jobs, it seems like it's very hard to find workers. Is it hard to find people who want to be janitors these days?
Oh, absolutely. So we're still not full staff. After everything that happened in 2020, we were down a considerable amount of employees for a very long time. We just barely got close to full staff this year.
Wow.
But we were understaffed by over 50 people for far too long.
And what is the pay range for janitors?
It depends on the contract. At Northwestern, we're an independent contract. I am talking about the union contract and not the actual work contract. So at Northwestern, where everyone is at the same rate of $16.65 an hour. Right now, until the contract anniversary, we're one of the lowest paid janitorial staff employees of anywhere. But the pay range is anywhere from $16.65 to, I believe, top out some like around $20 an hour.
And does that include benefits, or is that rare to get benefits?
So our SEIU makes sure that benefits are included in every contract. I mean, the members negotiate the contracts, but the union, helps us along and guides us, and benefits are always included in every contract. I do know that non-union janitorial jobs do not get paid benefits.
Well, that's barely a living wage, and it's hard work. So let's get into the program. Tell us how the Service Employee International Union, or SEIU, came up with the idea to create a green janitor program, and how the unique partnership is structured between the union, employers, building owners, and government entities to implement the program.
Well, the program started in California back in 2014, so about 9 years ago. It's been expanding in California for a considerable amount of time. We tried to kick off the program in Chicago in 2020, and then 2020 happened. So as soon as that we were safe and we were able to get all the puzzle pieces in place, we started the program again in January of this year. The program is a partnership, which is, especially with everything that you see now with all the strikes that are going on, it's a partnership between the union, the contractors, and building ownership, which is a very rare but very welcome thing to see.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. There's probably counter interests there, but they do have a common interest. They want their buildings clean, right?
Yeah, they want their buildings clean. They want it done safely, and everyone wants to save money.
Yes. So you were one of the member-led instructors that taught the first round of Green Janitor Education program classes in Chicago. Tell us a little bit about the program, like what do students learn in the program? What are the takeaways? And how does this make them more valuable?
So some of the things that are taught in the programs, at least in the buildings that we taught them at Merchandise Mart and 321 North Clark, are already implemented because they're LEED certified buildings. But the program teaches how to do things more sustainably, how to do things safely, and even more important, why we do everything that we're doing. Because even at Northwestern, where we're doing as much sustainable and green cleaning practices and safety stuff as we can, most of us don't know why we're doing it and why it benefits the environment and why the environment needs it.
Yeah, the why is very important, but tell us some very specifics. What makes the program sustainable?
We teach to use green cleaning practices, which include green cleaning chemicals. Green cleaning chemicals are chemicals that are made from renewable resources. So it's mostly plant-based and plant derivative-based chemicals that are not only sustainable and renewable, but also safer to use. We teach best practices such as not using traditional mops and switching over to the microfiber mops, which use maybe 90% less water and less cleaning chemicals to actually do the same job. It's also easier on the employee using them because you're not pushing around a stick with 20 pounds of water at the end of it. We teach things that are not usually part of the janitorial job, where most janitors would see something and say, well, that's not my job, and just walk away. So we teach, the program teaches things like make sure that the blinds are closed because sun getting into the building will heat up the building. We teach things like if you see an open window or door, make sure that you close it, not just behind you, but make sure that you close it so that the environment the building's trying to create doesn't escape through that open window or door. We teach things like make sure that you report anything that you see that's broken, especially water leakage, so that it gets fixed right away and that we're not wasting water.
So that's great. It follows lead. It's water, energy conservation, recycling, I assume,
Oh,
resource conservation,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah. So because of the why that we teach in the class, like we emphasize that even if you're in a rush, because there are plenty of times, especially with short staffing, where janitors aren't in a rush, don't just drag up the dumpster to the end of the table at a party and then just dump everything into the dumpster. Make sure that all the recycling goes to where it needs to go, and that the only things that go to landfill are the things that can't be recycled.
So green has been synonymous with saving money. How does being a green janitor help save money for the building owners?
Well, we have reports that the buildings in California that have instituted this program have reported up to a 20% savings in water and electrical use.
That's significant.
It is. And the green chemicals that we use uh, are heavily concentrated. So while per package it costs more, while you're using them as a whole, and the diluted amounts that you get are much higher. So per usable ounce, it's a lot cheaper to switch to green chemicals.
Any good janitorial stories you have
Uh,
that you
none that
could
are safe
share?
for none that are safe for the radio.
All right, we'll move on. Is there a cost to enter the program?
No. So the program was completely funded by the union itself. This run, we're hoping to get funding to expand the program um, and actually bring it to all of Chicago and Chicagoland. Um, but there will be no cost incurred by the janitors themselves that are in the program.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, here's the $64,000 question. Is there a demand for green janitors? And will they get paid more money once they've graduated from the program?
Well, the demand all depends on how well things go with the two classes that we had. And I'm hoping there is, because it's a valuable part. I mean, if you take 20% savings in water and electricity that they've seen in California, and you bring that here and you bring that into every single building, commercial buildings in Chicago account for 70% of the carbon emissions. If we can reduce that by 20% just from the Green Janitor program, that'll make a huge difference.
Yeah, I would think there's a real value proposition there. And if you could quantify it, that the janitor should get some remuneration for that.
Yeah. As far as the money goes, we don't have anything set up in contracts right now to get more money uh, for being Green Janitor certified. So that all goes to the negotiating table the next time we go into negotiations.
You mentioned that this program started in California. Are there other states and cities that have followed?
We're about to go into Cleveland, I believe. Not we as in me, but the union's also doing starting their first classes up in Cleveland, and we're hoping to get it like in as many large cities as we can. And we are also the first and currently only member-led program. Everyone else uses professional instructors. So because we're member-led, we're able to provide a level of I don't want to say compassion, more like relatability to the people that we're teaching the classes to, especially in Chicago. I mean, we are a tough city.
So let's talk bottom line. What's the benefit to building owners, the benefit to the public, and to the environment for having green janitor programs?
The benefit to the building owners is definitely monetary. If buildings in California are seeing a 20% reduction in energy and water usage, that's a lot of money every year. For the janitors, obviously, safety and their health is very important, and the green program shows them how to do things safely and take care of their health while they're doing their jobs. And for the environment, everything that we do that makes things safer for us as janitors is safer for the tenants and anybody that walks into the building. So if we're not using dangerous chemicals like when I first started, where the floor strippers were acid based and we had to wear full rubber suits. The glass cleaners had so much ammonia in them that you had to stand 3 feet away from the windows when you're spraying the windows. That means that the tenants and everyone that's in the building doesn't have to deal with those harsh things either.
Well, that sounds like a triple win there. The public, the owners, and the environment all wins. Roberto, any closing thoughts?
Yeah, there's one thing that I want to make sure. So working as a janitor is a thankless job. So I'm going to ask everybody that's listening to this to do the same thing that I did at the end of every single class. The next time you see the janitor that works at your building, tell them thank you for everything that you do and thank you for working a job that no one else wants to do.
Well, thank you for that statement, because as I mentioned in the intro, they are the unsung heroes. They're like elves. They magically make those offices clean that we all enjoy in the morning. So Roberto, I really appreciate you being on Green Sense, and thank you for sharing your thoughts and your years of experience and this new program.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for sharing our program.
That's Roberto Rodriguez, janitor at Northwestern University and instructor of the Green Janitor Education Program, sharing his thoughts on the Green Janitor Program and the benefits to the public. Visit the greensenseshow.com website to learn more about sponsorship. I'm Robert Colangelo. Thank you for listening to Green Sense, and check out the Green Sense Minute every Thursday and Saturday on 105.9 FM, WBBM, Chicago. Roberto, excellent job.
Thank you.